everybody, and welcome to my TNA IMPACT Wrestling review. A lot of big things tonight to kick off the show, right live from Cincinnati, Ohio, as we kicked it off with the Main Event Mafia coming out. And as the Main Event Mafia came out, hello, Zalika.
Right, you know I gotta interrupt this right now.
Join. And as I like to, I like to bring guests there. I like to meet my friend Zalika here today. She is here on the show on my Impact Wrestling Live review.
Hey.
Real big. Say hello if you can.
Hi, people.
Z-Money right here. That's what the kind of thing. Zalika right here.
Who am I talking to?
Hey, anybody on YouTube that's watching this show? You watching the show right here? Our party Impact Wrestling Live review. As we kick it off, we got to get off with a special guest. We'll probably bring back hundreds and millions of times right here. I gotta ask you one thing.
What? Yeah,
alright, tomorrow. I was gonna come in later, but Torrance said you was gonna bad.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. You gonna be in the room? Yeah. Alright, I'll come 2 o'clock tomorrow. Alright, see you, Zalika. Yeah, and as we come back, I like you. Well, you got to meet my guest today, Zalika, on here. And as we kick it off, as I said, the Main Event Mafia is on the show tonight. Kick it off, Sting, Kurt Angle, Magnus, and Samoa Joe coming out. Sting talking about the Main Event Mafia are going to be put on the shelf for a while. As they were going to be put on the shelf for a while, they were just going to be gone since they all have their own personal attendant matters too. As Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, and Magnus get ready for the world title tournament now, and Sting says he's going to go in the back to entitle himself about the guys in the back that have not been respected, that are not respecting this business around he was going to take care of. And he knows that all three men will be world champion again one day as they are fighting for it, and pretty much said he hugged them and said he loved them, except for Magnus. He pretty much hugged him. He didn't really say he loved Magnus and that. And pretty much Samoa Joe took the mic and saying it's been way too long since he's been the world heavyweight champion. So, since he's been the world heavyweight champion and everything, so he will be ready for the tournament next week. And it's Magnus got on the mic, pretty much said, I'm going to have to go through Joe next week, and he has to go through him, Kurt Angle also. He wants to be the world champion. And as Kurt Angle got on the microphone and talking about what happened with Bobby Roode last week, and he's going to prove something. Because last week, doctor told him not to do it. He went to his own personal doctor. But before he could go on, Bobby Roode came out saying he's beaten Kurt Angle twice. And it could be a third time. Even has to be through this tournament and everything. So if it has to be through the tournament, it's going to happen like that. And pretty much then Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode just started brawling all over the place. Then Kurt pretty much was fighting him, the refs and holding him back. As we went to the commercial, then they came back. The brawl's still going on. And then Kurt Angle's in with a chair telling Bobby Roode he wants to fight again. Bobby Roode just storms in. They're fighting. They almost get Kurt Angle in the way. Back again, Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode tearing this whole damn arena down in Cincinnati, Ohio tonight. Just beating the hell out of each other until a bad influence in the Main Event Mafia had to come out and break both of them up then, trying to get them the hell about there until bad influence then to get a battle with the Cincinnati Bengals as Pac-Man Jones, which hasn't been on TNA since 2009. If he could have got somewhere better then, if he wasn't tagging with R-Truth, Ron the Truth Killings then, even though they were tag team champions at the time, but he actually never made a move since he had to go and, you know, I don't know, Pac-Man Jones had to, I think it was like he had to get back to football again at that time. Pretty much him and another Cincinnati back got the Quarsh, I believe. They pretty much got in the ring with Bad Influence battling them, and pretty much Pac-Man Jones then pulled off a suplex on both of them. The crowd's just doing hot fire, hyping up all over the place, going crazy all over this arena. And I gotta say, what a crazy opening segment, the TNA tonight, with the Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode back. Hell, even bringing Pac-Man Jones back in the ring. Shit, having Pac-Man Jones back in TNA, I know we haven't seen him for a while, but hell, I gotta say, it was one hell of a short return, if you ask me, for him to be back on. So, crazy opening tonight. Brooke Tessmacher versus Phil Sky versus ODB for #1 contendership for the knockout title, but Gail Kim and Lady Topper got involved and pretty much no disqualification, and then Gail Kim got in the mic saying there's no competition. Now she's facing anybody outside this company, since there's no competition in TNA left for the knockout champ. Even though Lady Top is right there and she hasn't been in this long, I don't know why she hasn't challenged her yet. She's the biggest woman around TNA right now. She's the biggest woman and shit, so yeah. She's pretty much the biggest one all around in TNA. Also, I gotta say, pretty much on TNA area, she's the biggest guest and stuff. Not biggest guest, I mean the biggest person in TNA and everything. I don't know why Gail Kim pretty much went off saying she was the first ever, longest and greatest TNA Knockouts champion around today. Also tonight, AJ Styles is in Mexico fighting in AAA, watched by the Prince AJ Styles, so AJ is defending the title in Mexico right now in AAA. Bischoff and Nexel argue with Bully Ray in the back to all of them and Taz. All four of them are going to vote tonight about this club since it's been falling apart and been surrounding all of Bully Ray's ego and everything. As they came out, they said that your egos has gotten in the way of this entire crew, and Bischoff pretty much took off his cut saying he's done. And then Knox got his cut saying, I don't need this group or crew anymore. He's done, because Mr. Anderson was watching at ringside then. And then he said Taz, saying you need to pump the brakes. This whole crew's been falling apart ever since. And that he's taking off this cut, Taz is out, and Bully Ray told him to put it back on. Taz said, make me, and he says, make me, I will end you then, if it has to be like that. I thought Taz was going to put in a Taz mission on him, which I now believe this crew of H's and Eights is finally over. But then Mr. Anderson says, that's the thing, your crew, you don't have anybody to puppet around. So at Turning Point, in 2 weeks, as they return back to Orlando, Florida, back in the Impact Zone where they started, before they've been on the road for over the past, I must say over a kind of a year now, they've been on the road, TNA. For most half of the year now. TNA is going to be returning back in 2 weeks. Turning Point, back in the Impact Zone Wrestling, Orlando, Florida. Universal Studios is coming back there, and he's going to challenge to a no disqualification match. It's not going to be a match, it's going to be a fight. And then Bully Ray pretty much talked about how Anderson is a huge fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin. One of the greats, and that you must remember something then. The first rule, as Austin would always say, pretty much then Knox and Bischoff start beating the hell out of Anderson and beating the hell out of him, destroying him, as Bully Ray pretty much took out the chain, pretty much quoting Austin saying, don't trust anybody. You hear me? Don't trust anybody, as he said. As Stone Cold Steve Austin would say, which I find to believe the crew, this whole group is going to be over. But what a bit of a swerve tonight as Aces and Eights still continue on. Now, Aces and Eights still continue on, and that's how it kind of goes and everything. It really has now continued on the show and stuff. I thought it'd be over. I thought this was the end of Aces and Eights at this point, but it looks like Aces and Eights still moves on. Ethan Carter III went against Dewey Barnes. Again, even though Dixie Carter was talking in the back so he could pick his opponent, I thought it'd be some actual competition this time. But I don't know, Ethan Carter won again. I don't know if they're going to give him some really good competition to go against. Bad influence for arguing with Joseph Park in the back about the whole Bis Mystery thing. And then when Eric Young comes and kind of comes back up a little there, say it's going to be a match tonight, as Bad Influence went against Eric Young and Joseph Parks. Pretty much Bad Influence picking up the win. Christopher Daniels, Apple Martini throwing into Joseph Parks' face, and then Kazarian hitting the Crucifix Powerbomb, pretty much picking up the win right there. Kurt Angle came back out again, telling Bobby Roode to get his ass back out here so he can challenge him to another fight tonight. As he challenged him to another fight. Another fight, he says. Pretty much Austin Aries came out and said, you better be 100% next week. Especially when they're going to go one-on-one next week. Austin Aries and Kurt Angle. That's what's going to happen next week with both of them. As Dixie Carr spun the wheel of Dixie, it's going to be a submission match next week between Kurt Angle and Austin Aries. And when Austin Aries walked off, out of nowhere, Bobby Roode comes back. Him and Kurt Angle start brawling all over the place until Austin Aries gets involved, and then he starts brawling with Bobby Roode, and then Kurt Angle throwing Austin Aries off, and then Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, and then Austin Aries and Kurt Angle are going at it. I feel like this battle is going all over the place tonight with Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode. Hell, Austin Aries getting some action in tonight also, kicking ass out there. Jesus. It was crazy out there. This has been I gotta say, this is a really crazy segment tonight for Impact Wrestling, especially this whole Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode brawl that's been happening all night, calling each other out there. And then Jeff Hardy, the main event, Jeff Hardy going against Chris Sabin in a Full Metal Mayhem match, which was freaking awesome out there. And I said it was a bit of a This Is Awesome chant, kind of weak out there tonight. But it was a really good This Is Awesome chant. But I really did enjoy this match going off the table. I didn't think Jeff Hardy could actually dodge Chris Sabin laying on the table, throwing his knees up, even though the table still broke and everything. But Jeff Hardy pretty much ended with a Swanton bomb, jumping off the ladder, pretty much like a rollover almost on the ladder and everything. Pretty much with a rollover and stuff from the turnbuckle over the ladder, hitting the Swanton bomb, pretty much beating Chris Sabin, advancing on to in the championship tournament match now. As pretty much the doctor had to check on Chris Sabin and everything. But you better watch out for next week, because next week it's going to be Austin Aries and Kurt Angle in a submission match. Sorry, need some water right there, people. But I gotta say, what's a crazy match? I gotta say, crazy episode of Impact Wrestling tonight, I must say. Especially great things from the Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode brawl to the Full Metal Mayhem match. Even this whole promo about the Main Event Mafia just being on the shelf for a while, they're not really broken off. But since they have their own personal agendas to attend to, this is gonna be on the shelf for a while until the Main Event Mafia reforms. They've done their job. They took it out aces and eights, mostly of aces and eights. So, yeah. But I gotta say, comment, subscribe, you know who I am, you know what I do. Once again, you know it's me, the HOOD, coming here with the news and reviews. Make sure you watch out, you never know what's gonna happen. Live reactions, reviews, everything. I take my special guest today, that was here, Zalika, that was here today. So, make sure you think gonna be on the show. So once again, you know it's down. You've seen it all, you've seen it today. We are now done with this review of TNA. So I'm out here. I will see you guys later. Peace!